Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Listen, man. I like Demetrius Andrade, but we've got to frame. We have to frame things in reality. And I'm going to tell you right now, I personally think it's over for Demetrius Andrade. And I'm not saying that as an opportunity to kick him while he's down. I'm telling you, I just think he has nowhere to go. You see, this guy left 154, picked up a title, 160, picked up a title. Things weren't working out the way he wanted. Bubbled up to 168 because, according to him, he's chasing opportunities, but it was just, too hard to make 160. You can look at Demetrius Andrade and see he's a big guy. But let me tell you something. He's, in my opinion, proven to be too small for 168 and too big for 160. So what does he do? He's kind of in no man's land. He's kind of, in my opinion, after this loss to David Benavidez, he's become a Nowhereian because he has nowhere to go. Kind of like Adrian Broner, another one of those guys who, because of being too small for 147, too big for 140, he kind of ends up in no man's land and has become a Nowhereian because he just don't know what kind of weight he's going to fight at. And that's where I think Andrade is at this point in time in his career. But what's even more unfortunate for Andrade is, listen. He's on the decline, man. When I saw him tap out, right? Now we know David Benavidez can fight. We know he hits hard. Even before he brought Heredia onto his team, David Benavidez was giving people the business. But since he brought Heredia on, Angel Mimo Heredia, who has a degree in science and who was a chemist, once he brought him on, I think we're seeing definitely what I would call a power up in David Benavidez. So Andrade, who obviously working hand in hand with Victor Conti and just trying to do all the things he could in preparation for the Mexican Monster. And that didn't work out. So what that tells me is for Andrade, he either needs to hook up with Heredia, or what we're seeing, because in my opinion they both were on a level playing field, is that he's kind of missed his opportunity to really become recognized as one of the greats. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I think he can bounce back and string up some wins, but against who? That's going to be the question. Kind of like when Regis Prograis and Devin Haney were doing that face-off today, and Regis Prograis was laughing at Devin Haney when Devin Haney was talking about other people who've knocked people out, and Haney was like, well, who have they knocked out? And Regis was like, well, who have you knocked out? And Devin Haney started laughing because nobody knew any of the people he knocked out. And I kind of think that's the direction Demetrius Andrade is going, to where he came over, he fought, for the most part, a nobody when he went to D.C. and fought for his first fight at 168, went inactive and came back and got a fight against a huge name, David Benavidez. And now he's going to be out here fighting against guys whose names that no one's going to know. Now, let me point something out to you that you guys may find interesting, right? I'm pulling something up for you. I think you guys are going to find this interesting. Now, let's take a look right here, okay? This is the WBC, okay, at 168 pounds. You can see Canelo Alvarez is a WBC World Super Middleweight Champion. Then David Benavidez is a WBC interim, right? Benavidez and Alvarez. In a perfect world, that's the next fight. But we know that's not how things work out. But if you come down and you look, the number 1 is Christian Mbili. Number 2 is Jaime Munguia. Number 3 is Eric Bazignan. 4 is Caleb Plant. 5 is Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade just lost to David Benavidez. Let me tell you something. He's not ranked in any other sanctioning body. Okay? We know Mauricio Suleiman and the Secret Society and Al Heyman, they can make things happen. That's how he ended up coming up to 168, being ranked number 5. Because let's be real, Diego Pacheco's ranked number 6. How the hell is Demetrius Andrade ranked above Diego Pacheco at 168? But nonetheless, it is what it is. They got him ranked in a good enough slot to where he could justify him fighting David Benavidez. But now that he's lost, Demetrius Andrade, I'm sure he's going to drop, if not out of the WBC rankings, he's going to drop all the way down probably to like number 10, 11, 12. He may drop out. Now, if he drops out, then Demetrius Andrade, as far as his run at 168 and trying to pick up, any of that hardware, I personally think is over. What you could see happening is Demetrius Andrade fighting a Sergey Derevyanchenko. You could see him getting a shot at Edgar Berlanga now that he lost him. Eddie Hearn may say he looks like he's on the decline, and he may be a good springboard for Edgar Berlanga. So what I'm getting at is you may see him in fights, but it's going to be fights where he probably won't win. And they're just going to be just trying to eat off of him. And the sad part is, again, I think he's too small for 168, and I think he's too big for 160. Because when you come down and we take a look at what we're dealing with here at 160, I mean, him fighting Alan Kanuli, Adames, Lara, Derevyanchenko's ranked in both the 160 and 168. Eubank Jr. is a fight that could be made because Eubank Jr. will go and fight at 168. And that's a fight that Andre could win. And it could be a big money fight for him if he goes and fights him in the UK. But that being said, when you start taking a look at the names there at 160, the names don't even matter if he really can't get down to that weight. So for Demetrius Andrade, it's really unfortunate. Just thinking about this man who's been boxing since he's been 6. And I'm going to be honest with you, the more I think about it, boxing since he's been 6. And here now, 35, 36 years old, and had to wait this long to get a really high-profile fight. And ended up having to quit on the stool because he was just getting, destroyed in the ring. But what I'll say is, I just don't know what is it that Demetrius Andrade, what did he do or didn't do that turned people off? Maybe it's when he first became pro. He didn't really sign with a promotional outfit that could push him the way he needed to be pushed. Maybe that was probably the beginning of all of his problems, is the choices he made when he first turned pro. And then trying to get from underneath that, because basically he's trying to make up for lost time. And then that's where you see him bouncing around from gym to gym, promoter to promoter, weight class to weight class. And I don't know, I know he was looking for opportunities, but in a sense, it almost could be interpreted as him trying to circumvent the system. And in a way, he kind of did. But look what ultimately happened to him. He was trying to get to a big money fight, get a big win, but by him trying to do that in a weight division that he didn't belong in, he ended up probably getting the kind of beating that took whatever was left in him to continue boxing. I think David Benavidez beat it out of him. When you get hit so hard that your eyes roll on the back of your head, and then you get up after that and you're just falling into your opponent and grabbing them, and you just basically have no offense. That's not a good. That's just all heart. And it gets to the point to where you're getting beat so bad and hurt so bad to where it's not even the corner who wanted to stop it. It was him saying to himself in that ring, I can't do this. You know, the way he held that rope, he was like, nah, it don't feel right. So I'm curious to see what people think is next for Demetrius Andrade, but I'm going to tell you right now, I think if he's not careful, because he's continuing to fight and still feels that he has what it takes to get to that next level, I think he could end up being put in fights where they know he's going to lose, and he's going to take it because they're going to give him good money because of his name, and he could end up getting himself hurt really badly. Because to me, Demetrius Andrade ain't nothing but a winky right. All that talent, but people just didn't really get the opportunities. And now he is towards the end of his career, and he's gonna sail off into the sunset, as you know, the boxer who had a lot of potential, but just never really didn't really get to perform to his potential, not by his choice, but just the way the system is structured and how things work sometimes when it comes to boxing politics. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Again, when I take a look at, let me show y'all something. Let me fix it so y'all can understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, so when I look at this right here, okay, at 160, it just seems like that's just too small for him, for Andrade. But when you come up to 168 and you're talking about Benavidez, Plant, Morrell, even Ryder, maybe that's a good fight for him, but the way Ryder stood up to Canelo just makes you wonder how that would go against Andrade. The Bazignan, Pacheco, Berlanga, I just think these are all bad fights for him. Good fights for him for a payday, but bad fights for him because I'm not sure how he'll do. But then again, I gotta make sure I'm not taking it to the stupid, because David Benavidez is just a different animal. You know, we've seen guys get in fights and get the hell beat out of them, but then they come back and they look outstanding and against other opponents. So Benavidez probably had a whole lot to do with Andrade looking the way he looked. And against anyone else, hey, maybe he doesn't look that way. But for me right now, I just think he had a pound of flesh beaten out of him. And I'm just concerned about how that's going to affect him going forward. But I guess we'll find out, if he continues with his boxing career, and depending on who the opponent is that he fights next. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in Debris. And please make sure and subscribe. I'd appreciate it.